Hello, my name is Charles Webster Baer, and today is October 4th, 2011, and I am in Bend, Oregon, USA. Today, I want to talk about a universal currency. A universal currency is when the entire planet Earth uses the same currency. Okay? A universal currency is when there's only one currency and everybody uses the same currency. Now, this probably won't happen for a few centuries. I think it will happen eventually. I think it's inevitable, but I think it'll take hundreds of years for it to actually occur. And when it does occur, it'll probably be electronic. It probably won't be paper. There probably won't be paper money anymore. It'll probably be all online. So, I think that a universal currency would be a very good thing, and I think that we should have a universal currency as soon as possible. And I think the International Monetary Fund is moving in that direction, and that's a good thing. I also think that a world government would be a good thing. You know, one government for the whole planet. And like a universal currency, I think that's probably centuries away. And I think the United Nations is taking steps in that direction today. So what are the steps that are being taken and that are going to be taken in order to create a universal currency? Well, I'll tell you what those steps are. They begin with the first step, and we'll call that first step, step one. Step one is that a nation must be a free capitalist society. Step two is that a nation must have zero debt, and a nation must have less than 1% inflation over 4 or more consecutive years. This would mean that that nation has a stable economy. And the nation would also have to have a balanced budget amendment. And that would mean that that nation is not allowed to go into debt because that's illegal. Step three, a nation will have a free trade agreement with other nations that physically border it or that are near it within 100 miles or less. Step four, a nation will form an economic union with some or most or all of its neighboring countries or regional countries or continental countries that qualify. And to qualify, you must complete the first three steps. This is very much like what has happened in Europe with many of the European nations forming the EU, or the European Union, the European Economic Community. So basically what I'm getting at here is that the rest of the world is going to eventually end up doing what the European nations have already accomplished. However, they didn't, even though Europe's the blueprint has a few flaws that need to be hammered out. Flaws like how Greece was allowed to cook the books, etc. Okay. Step number 5. A nation must create a regional or continental currency for its economic union, just like Europe did. And I'm talking about one currency for Europe, the euro, one currency for South America, one currency for Southeast Asia, one currency for Latin America, one currency for North America, one currency for parts of Africa and parts of the Middle East, one currency for Eastern Europe. Step 6. A nation must bring into its economic union all of the other regional or continental nations that haven't been in there yet. Now, of course, this will take many decades or even generations, but that's the next step. Step 7. All regional or continental economic unions must merge into one world economic union. So basically all of the economic unions, South America, North America, Europe, Africa, China, India, blah, 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 they all form one world economic union. And now we're looking at like the year 2200 or something like that. Okay. Step 8 is the creation of the universal currency. And then step 9 is basically everybody has the same currency. All human beings have the same currency. Probably an electronic currency. And then that's that. And then, the next step after that is that humans will probably, have more financial equality with one another, etc. And then the step after that is that we'll enter a post-currency era, and there will no longer be any need for cash, because humans will evolve beyond that need for cash. So that is the universal currency. And now you know what the deal is with universal currency. Thank you very much. Have a very pleasant day. This is Charles Webster Baer for Global Internet Government saying adios, amigos.